Call the meeting to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we take a moment of silence for the victim that was shot Saturday here? Thank you very much. Okay, item number 3, approval of minutes. I'm sorry.
Trustee Brewer?
Here.
Trustee Carter?
Here.
Trustee Grant?
Here.
Trustee Tate? Trustee Todd?
Here.
Trustee Zupan?
Here.
Okay, now the approval of minutes. I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes of the meeting, regular board meeting of July 24th, 2018.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Carter, second by Trustee Brewer. Any questions?
Yes. I would ask that both trustees amend their motion to include one change. Can everybody hear me okay? Sorry. I kind of feel like maybe we're not on. Everybody in the audience hear me okay? Okay, now it sounds a little bit better. With regards to new business, under the accounts payable, the amount on there is incorrect. It should be $355,440.61. So I would ask you to please amend your motion to be for that amended amount.
So, Trustee Carter, would you rescind your motion?
I rescind my motion.
Would you amend your motion, Trustee Brewer?
Yes.
I have a,
One minute.
I have a correction as well. Under comments and questions under the trustees, my comment, it should say the beautification committee.
Any other questions? Accept the motion, accept the motion to necessary correction.
Brewer?
Yes.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, public comment. All questions and comments will be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter pertaining to the business of Sauk Village. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak up to 3 minutes and may not engage in debate or counter discussion. I will answer all questions or comments, at the very end. Please state your name and get to the mic.
Kathy Metro. First, I would like to thank our first responders, police department, fire department. Yeah, is it on? For the response to the job they did. And not on. You were the first, so probably not.
Here we go. Great job, guys. Thank you. Second, we need more police. This is becoming epidemic. We are getting shots fired every week, sometimes twice a week. We need help. Right now, we're sitting on an $800,000 safety net. We don't need a safety net, we need safety. Get us the police and protection we need. With this SOA, our SOC program that you've got, is there a possibility to get a program on there that notifies residents like the Amber Alert goes out to your phones? That if there's an active shooting going on in our village, we are notified so that we can stay off the streets and stay safe and let the policemen do their jobs. We need to do something. Either that or sound the alarm, something, so that our residents are safe. Maybe we need to do something with the safety committee and start thinking of ways to keep these little thugs, and that's what they are, is thugs, out of our village. Because from what I understand, some of them didn't even live here. What's sad is they know that we're shorthanded in the police department. They know they can get in here and get out easily. So they come here, they do their dirty deeds, and they get out. We want more police protection. And thank you for the job you did, and thank you for notifying the residents afterwards with your announcement. Thank you.
I would like to talk about FOIAs. Number one, I would like to know, who is our FOIA clerk? I'd also like to say that in the FOIAs that I send in on a regular basis, I'm getting them back asking me for additional time to compile the information. 5 days later or 6 days later, I get an answer, and it's only to say that that paperwork does not exist. Why did it take more than 10 days to tell me paperwork did not exist? It doesn't make sense to me, and I feel that if you were answering questions, we wouldn't be having lawsuits. And there's more coming. There has to be. The FOIAs are not signed. I have a particular FOIA where I asked for information, and I was informed that the village cannot do it electronically, they have to do it manually, therefore it would cost me close to $200 for what I want. I am told that that kind of service being done manually stopped in the late 70s, early 80s, and it's a lie. We can do it electronically. So I would like to ask you to take some additional time and check that out. And I should be able to give you a thumb drive and get the paperwork that I am asking for. Because it has not been done manually in this town or many others in a lot of years. Secondly, I have to agree with Kathy. Shootings on the weekend are becoming a habit. And calling our night staff people in to assist, plus other towns and everybody to assist. They did a fabulous job, but I'd like to know how much overtime you're paying that would probably triple what you would pay the 2 officers that you still have in the budget, but you won't get. We need them on the street. And I'd also like to know about the furniture. I don't seem to be able to get an answer about the rotten furniture that the police officers are sitting on. They have to go in the station at times for various different things, and there were officers in the station this weekend because the prisoners were in there and somebody had to stay in there. And they didn't have an apple crate to sit on, only the nasty chairs. So I'd like to know when something's going to be done about that. Thank you.
Head count. I agree with Judy on the FOIAs. I've also put in FOIAs with no signatures on the return when they're being filled out. I'd like to know who's doing those FOIAs. For some reason, nobody wants to sign them, and that's wrong. They should be signed. Number 2, I have mentioned many times, and there was an incident at my house just about an hour or so ago. that there is a pit bull loose again. Many times its dog has been loose, and it has been dealt with and was told to get that dog out of town. A few weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, there was a fire call at that residence. They refused to let the fire department, police department go into that residence for whatever reason. So there they were, out there with the fire truck, the police truck, the whole bit, and they refused to let them enter that house. Maybe because that pit bull was in there. That dog just came after me just an hour or so ago, and I have it on video. I have pictures of that dog, and I've already spoken to our safety lady, and she is going to make sure that it is getting over to our police department, because that dog is a nuisance. We also have an ordinance regarding nuisance neighbors that has not been enforced in a long time. These people are nuisance neighbors. They have over $4,000 in tickets issued, nothing paid to this village, and they are still living here. And that pit bull is still here. Now, if it's not me, because I went after the dog with a baseball bat, if it's not me, it could have been a child, or it could have been the mail lady, it could have been any one of you. If that dog comes after somebody and hurts them, it's on you to do something about it. Thank you.
Good evening, Debbie Williams. First of all, I'd like to say I called the Village Hall today and couldn't get through again. Left messages, didn't get a response again. Also, the voice message says, welcome to the village of Sauk, again. And many times we've all come up here and said, we don't live in the village of Sauk, we live in the village of Sauk Village. And it can't be that hard to fix. Second of all, I'd like to thank the chief for the excellent write-up and giving us the information that we need to know what happened on that particular incident on Saturday. It was very thorough. We appreciate that. I do agree with Kathy, though. We need to know ahead of time. I live in the hotbed of what's going on. I have children that are in the hotbed of what's going on. It scares the crap out of me. And I want to tell you that that Saturday, we had a vendor fair at the library. When we tried to recruit vendors to come to the fair, more than one said, you live in Sauk Village? I'm not going to Sauk Village. That's the reputation that we have. And the one person that I could get from outside the community to come to Sauk Village was a witness to the shooting. And she had to swerve out of the way to avoid getting hit. And I got a text message that said that she got killed in that situation. That scared the crap out of me. The text message was wrong because it was misstated, but we don't have information right away and we get concerned. That person who came from outside the community, the one person that was brave enough to do it, was a witness to the incident. We do need some type of citizens alert for those of us who need to know what's going on. We understand that it needs to, certain things cannot be discussed in the middle of an investigation. Just to know that we need to avoid Carroll Avenue, Brookwood Avenue, Sauk Trail, stay away from this area. That happened right around 2 o'clock, right when our vendor fair was breaking up. We were all leaving the area in the middle of that. I had to go from there to the church for a senior event, and I had to keep the doors locked because I was afraid that it was still going to be going on and they would be looking for cover and they would come into the church. It scared me there too. Also, recodification. When I was the clerk, I fought for recodification. It was in the budget for recodification. Why are we still not recodified? I have offered and offered to be an assistance. Mayor, I've reached out to you several times. If anything I can do to help you guys do what you need to do, I'm here for you. Like I said, the website committee, the census committee. If you need help doing it, I'm more than happy to do it. But recodification is important. We're dealing with codes that haven't been updated since 2013. So what I'm saying to you, Mr. Mayor, is we need to fix things. That email that I spotted out to you the last time I was here, that email was actually written by a current employee that used to be on your team. And what it basically said was, can't we all communicate and work together? That's what we need to do. But safety, #1 priority. And I think getting some type of an alarm or email alert, gotta be the #1 thing. Thank you for your time.
Linda Washington, First of all, I want to say that it is really, really a sad day in Sauk Village when residents are going about their daily activity and have no idea that they are in the middle of being in an area where they could seriously be hurt. We had people that was over there in the area of the barber shop and Tony's that didn't have any idea what was going on. People was calling because they couldn't turn off at 394 and come down Sauk Trail. They had to go all the way up to Stager and come the back way through Sauk Village. And this went on, I guess, for hours that Sauk Trail was blocked off. And residents that live over in Candlelight couldn't go up in Candlelight. Nobody knows what's going on. And I've been up here every week saying that we don't feel safe. And the new chief, you don't know it, but I was over Neighborhood Watch. We have 80 blocks in this village. We had 41 block club captains out here. When Mayor Derrick Burgess became the mayor, he ceased and disbanded all of that and said he was going to do something different and better. And he assigned trustee Zupan to be over public safety. There has been no public safety programs. That's just FYI. They'll tell you something different. All of this is documented. So all of this that went on this weekend, if we would have had those 41 block club captains, and many of them watch multiple blocks, not just their block, we would have been on the phone calling each other, letting each other know what's going on. Watch out, stay safe, be careful, don't go outside right now. Residents was calling, former residents that know about what goes on out here in the village, asking why is Candlelight blocked off? Why is Sauk Trail blocked off? We can't get off the expressway. Teenagers that really don't know but a few routes to get up in Sauk Village. It's only really 3 ways in here. So there's no kind of communication. You don't want any help. You don't want any volunteers. I've been coming to X to talk to you for over 2 years. You've never seen me. You've never returned any of my phone calls. As a former trustee, I sat right there by you for 4 years. You know how Neighborhood Watch works. So this is what you want, so this is what you have. A lack of communication, no transparency. People are driving in the village and don't know what's going on. The week before, it was a shooting over there on 216th and Yates and Clyde. Former block club captains. You all said we need volunteers for the corn dog roast. We need volunteers for Santa Claus and for trick or treat, the trunk or treat. We need volunteers and we need a program in place working to alert residents to what's going on. And what you're paying Dr. Strada is a travesty. Start with her salary and get some part-time police and hers.
Mary Escovedo. I'm here again, as usual, every week to talk about social media, how you let your employees go out on social media and talk about the residents. Again, the same residents that put you in the seat, that you made so many promises about what you were going to do, and you didn't keep any of those promises. I also stood up here a few weeks ago and mentioned how you all, during your campaign, were talking about how you were going to get rid of everybody. So you got rid of Sherry, you got rid of Mohan, just as you all said you were going to do. And I told you about the police chief. I said, how much longer did he have? And guess what? 2 weeks later, he was gone. What happened there? So Kevin Weller, beware. You're next. Also, I know Joseph Wisawati mentioned something to me about getting rid of Sherry. So if it ever comes up and she needs a witness, just so you all know, I will be there to witness. And again, you need to control your people on social media and stop them. As Linda Washington once said, or many times said, she's somebody's mother and she's somebody's daughter, and you need to stop that, because I don't think your children would like that, or maybe they don't care. And maybe some of you don't even like your children, which I know that's a fact, but I like mine, and they know I'm their mother, and I don't think they appreciated what he was out there writing and what you're letting him do and say out there on social media. Thank you. I'll be back next week.
Okay, as far as the Sauk program, this is the website. That'll probably be going up and running after we get through looking at the licensing agreement. And we run that through legal. That'll be something that'll be put in place. As far as alerting people about an ongoing shooting or investigation, if a person there's something going on in the street and they're having problems, putting this on Facebook is not going to do anything. If the street is cordoned off, you see it taped up, you see that you can't go down that street, putting it on Facebook is not going to change anything. It's right there. We're not going to sit here and disseminate information while the investigation is going on. So if you see it taped up, if you see that the tape is out there, it's for a reason. Why it's going on? I mean, if it's there, you can't go there, then you don't go there. So it will be put out after things have, gotten under control, what can be put out at that time. Also, keep the thugs off the street. I don't understand that one because the shooting was in broad daylight. So who determines, and I'm just going to ask this question, who determines who a thug is? I mean, really.
Go around shooting people.
I didn't ask a question, that's a rhetorical question. Who determines what a thug is? If a person looks at a person and they decide that's a thug, they're going to put that person in jail because they looked at a certain way? So as far as the FOIAs are concerned, I'm the FOIA clerk. Obviously you don't want these questions answered because I'm trying to answer the questions and I'm getting comments after each one. I did not say one word when a person was talking up there at that mic. I didn't say one word. All I'm asking for is the same respect I gave you when you asked these questions. That's all I'm doing. As far as the signatures, the signatures, I'm the FOIA clerk. Simple as that. I gather the information. The information may come from different sources. I'm not going to try, I don't have a scanner in my office to scan stuff, put it on thumb drive and disseminate it. I put it on paper to where I've gotten it, take copies of it, and I disseminate it to whoever it is that needs the FOIA information. The paperwork is there, it's either given to you. If I can email it, I've emailed it. If I cannot, I have it at the front desk and you can sign for it and get it. That's not hard. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not trying. If I ask for more time, it's probably because I have other things that I have to do and I didn't have a chance to get to that particular FOIA. That's simple as that. I don't have a FOIA clerk. I am the FOIA clerk. Furniture question. All I can tell you is it's going to be taken care of. My priority is, as you just stated, safety. My priority is making sure that the streets are safe. Furniture is nice. That furniture has been like that since I was a trustee. Since I've been in this, working as a trustee in this village, 2006. All of a sudden now it's beyond belief. It's been beyond belief as far as I'm concerned for quite a while, but it's going to get taken care of. I assure you that. I don't know how a person knows that another person has a $4,000 worth of tickets and they're still living here, but that also, the nuisance is going to be, the nuisance ordinance is going to be resurrected. The nuisance ordinance is going to be enacted. And we're going to, for those that have committed crime, the crime-free housing will be taking effect pretty soon. That's all I can tell you. But that will happen. As far as no one, as far as the couldn't work, as far as volunteering, this person I asked about, that talked about that they would volunteer, when transition period came, I stood in the office and asked, could they help with the transition? And it was told at that time, yes, if you hire me part-time. Outside of that, we didn't have any, didn't have anything for me. to help with it. But that being said, the codification is going to take place. And when you call, we get ready to enact, I think next week, starting next week, we're going to enact a tree. So when you call, your call will be put into a different, wherever, in other words, if you're trying to call me, it go into my voicemail if I'm not able to pick up. And vice versa, all the trustees will have a call area to go to, the front office, the different departments. So you won't no longer be just ringing. It'll go to someone and someone will get back with you, and I appreciate you letting me know that they didn't do it. I will make sure that I find out why it didn't happen. But there's a tree that's gonna, it's called a tree. And when you make that call, it goes to the directory. And from that point on, you'll be directed to wherever you can go to wherever you want your call to go to. So that'll be something that's going to be starting next week. It's in place now. It's just a matter of doing some little work as far as trying to get that together. But it's going to be brought next week. I don't talk about social media. And I want to say this for whatever record that you guys want to put on as far as anything is concerned. I've never said anything to anybody, I'm going to get rid of so-and-so. Never said that. But if that's what if somebody wants to say that, I can't stop a person. It's like I can't stop a person that's telling me that, well, you should tell a person to be quiet. Everybody here that I know of is grown. I wish I could do that, but I can't. So, all I can tell you is I've talked to people about it. We do have a policy and it will be enacted. Oh, okay. Clerk just informed me that when she called, the voicemail did say Sauk Village, it didn't say Sauk. So I didn't know, I very seldom call and call up, I'm usually here. That being said, we'll move on to the mayor's report. The parade is going to be this Saturday. It's going to start at 10 o'clock. It'll start from the Public Works. They're going to start the the east side of Torrance Avenue and the south side of Torrance Avenue, south side of the village. And they'll work their way north and then west across 394 to the other side. At 5 o'clock, they're going to be back at the community center, where we will have Santa Claus to be there. We'll be having books that will be given away by the library. Library has donated books. And toys will be given away also to the kids that are there. And those toys will be given away. They'll be passed out by the volunteers that came out before, and a lot of them are from, as a matter of fact, are here in the audience right now. And then at, I would say 5 minutes after 5, we're going to light the tree. The tree lighting will be here, right here on the west side of the village. It won't be at the community center. There's going to be a tree right here as you come into the west entrance of the village, and we'll be lighting that tree somewhere around between 5 and 10 after 5. Also, mark that date, December 22nd. We'll be giving away Christmas baskets, which will include chickens and other condiments that we can get to go along with it. First come, first served basis. I'll tell you this, I do know that there's going to be at least 50 chickens and other things that we can come up with, but the giveaway will be here in the senior center, and that'll be on December 22nd. The time will be determined, but it will make sure that it gets out, and if we have to disseminate it on the marquee, we will, but again, to be first come, first served. Also, this Thursday at 5:30, there'll be a meeting in regards to the giveaway here at Village Hall at 5:30 this coming Thursday. All those that would like to participate in getting that particular avenue taken care of, whatever we have to do, get the chickens put into baskets or whatever, get everything done. Please meet here at 5:30 this coming Thursday for the planning meeting. That being said, Village Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to remind everyone that plan to be a candidate for the offices that are available in April, that your petitions and your entire candidates package will be accepted beginning December the 10th for that entire week. And there is just a slight change this year, and that is Illinois State Board of Education of Election has decided that they will do a sampling of each set of petitions that are provided, and they would just basically do a litmus test to see if you have the number of required signatures, if they're adequate or whatever, and if they're not, then State Board of Elections will contact you directly and let you know your next steps. So that completes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I forgot to reiterate the giveaway. We'll have a basket sometime this week, probably, hopefully tomorrow, out in the hallway for anyone that would like to donate anything towards the holiday giveaway. There'll be a basket, a box out there in the hallway that if you'd like to have canned goods, please, non-perishable goods. So if you have canned goods or anything to that effect, you can bring them in. Hopefully we'll have the box out there tomorrow to start doing it. Village Engineer, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. We are ramping up with the 2019 MFT CDBG Road Reconstruction Program. We are preparing preliminary cost estimates to determine the scope and extents of the improvements, considering the scope of funding available. Once this is determined, we will prepare the standard MFT forms for board approval and execution. Then we will start designing the project with a target bid in the spring. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor.
I just have a quick question for Jim. Who do we contact? Because I'm on 222nd Place off of Cornell. They left the big signs that say fresh oil, construction. I mean, they left them planted in the ground. And they're pretty big. It's like they didn't come back for them.
I can follow up with our construction observer on that.
Could you please? Thanks.
I have a comment. Last week, as part of the Public Service Committee meeting, I know this is a little early, but I want to say this before Jim leaves, that the mayor has agreed, and I think Trustee Zupan was there for, witness to say that you and I are going to get together and get some of that information that has been requested for a while, and we're going to start putting together some figures and data, stuff related to infrastructure repair. I want to say that and make sure that's on record, make sure everybody's on the same page with that, and I really appreciate you. And happy holidays to you. Yes.
Treasury report, Mr. Anthony Finch.
Thank you, Mayor. My treasury report is as of August 2018. The total revenue year-to-date, total revenue for the month of August was $5,167,838.52. That comprised of $2,938,524.44 in property taxes, $196,982.02 in other taxes, $13,320.92 in license and permits. Fees and service was $227,141.86. $1,952.60 was for grants, and inter-fund transfer was $1,740,421.12, and miscellaneous was $49,485.56. The total expense for the month of August was $2,478,997.10, which was for $578,810.56 was for personnel services. $9,979.07 was for office and operating supplies. $149,786.35 was for contractual services and other related expenses. And then again, there was a inter-fund transfer of $1,740,421.12. And again, that's concluded my report for the collector report, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask Mr. Fincher, a comment, just to say a comment. Now, I understand that this treasury report is from August of 2018. I understand that you're doing this job, it would be helpful if we get a more updated report, treasury report. I'm just saying, and I asked this before. And also, since we just got this today, we won't be able to look over it and ask any questions or anything that's been going on, even from this report. So I was hoping that we could get reports a little earlier so we could take a look at them, if that's possible. And also, for September, October, we need something updated. This collector's report is from August. So we need a little bit more info. In other words, just keep that in mind.
Well, it's coming. I'm working with the financial director to make sure we'll be no more than a month behind.
I want it to be noted that we're not getting what we used to getting. So
You will have it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and trustees. As I reported 2 weeks ago, we have 3 bond payments due to Amalgamated Bank by December 1st. The money for the 2007 A bond payment of $685,000 was transferred to the bond trustee 2 weeks ago, and the money was deposited at that time into an interest-bearing account at Amalgamated Bank. As a reminder, this is the last payment the village owes on the 2007 A bond. After this payment, the debt for the municipal center will officially be retired. The money for the 2007 B and C bonds was transferred this week to the bond trustees. As with the 2007 A payment, this was put into an interest-bearing account at Amalgamated. Another report is that we've also started to scan our vendor and business licenses and contractor licenses into a searchable format. The scanning of our records is the start of an overall automation initiative that we launched to be more efficient and effective. It also has the benefit of reducing our reliance on paper. We've also started to research converting our utility invoices to a full-page mailing and getting away from the postcard mailing that we have today. With a full-page mailing, we will be able to clearly note on the invoice when the last day to pay the invoice prior to shutting off the water. This will mean that we can eliminate the late notice mailing and save money. The full-page mailing will also allow us to space to advertise for our local businesses, also driving down costs. This type of change may be linked with our upgrade of Civic system, which is roughly expected in the late first quarter timeframe of 2019. In addition to that, we continue to make progress on our conversion to the ADP payroll system. The time clocks are expected to be installed this week. We're also going to be doing a parallel run between our old system and ADP to verify that we have set up the ADP payroll records correctly. Doing a parallel run, along with scheduling training will put us in a good position to finalize the conversion. Along with the payroll upgrade, we're going to be focusing on making sure our employees are paid electronically. Paying salaries electronically is a more cost-effective and efficient methodology. Finally, I do want to add to what you were talking about with the auto attendant feature of the phone system. It is scheduled to be implemented, I'm told, in the next week. The auto attendant feature is going to answer the calls and direct the call to the proper person. Last week, we recorded the new message and we sent it off to our IT support along with our phone vendor. They have had it, and I'm told that this should be implemented in the next week by both of them. The overriding theme here is, though, that we have started to become focused on utilizing automation to its fullest extent so that we can continue to improve our efficiencies. This concludes my report.
Thank you.
I just have a quick question. Where are we at with the audit?
They have gotten their final pension information, and after the Thanksgiving holidays, they were focused on our engagement 100%. So I've been in dialogue with them since the Thanksgiving holidays ended.
So we can expect to see it soon?
I would expect so. They've got all the information they need.
Okay. And then can I have a copy of your report as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have a comment. Since I want to say the middle of September, I have been asking for a detailed ledger for the 202A and B series. I understand that you told me last time that your first priority was to do FOIAs, but we still haven't got that information. It shouldn't take that long in order to get a couple of reports. I also asked for reports for the 2008 and 2009 series, and I still haven't gotten them. And also, I've asked for copies of the detailed ledger for the water, for the water fund, the utility fund, and the sewer fund, to determine how much in operational expenses, as they say, has been used out of those funds. And it seems like to me those should be daily, well, not daily, but weekly reports that we should get. And I haven't gotten them. I've been asking for them since the middle of September. That is information that we all need as trustees to find out where the money is. And I can't seem to get that answer for you. So I was wondering, is there any way or any assistance that we can get from anybody to find out what's going on with the money here in the village? Because we don't know. We haven't had a report related to water, sewer, and utility, and Jesus, I can't remember when. So that's something that's paramount, and especially since we were going to vote on the ordinance for the bonds, the 2008 series, 2002 series bond. We should have had information on that some time ago. We haven't gotten it yet, so I just want to know why we can't get information that's, pertinent to our decision making.
If you're asking me, I know that as part of the FOIA request, as part of the FOIA request, I know that you're getting all the amalgamated statements.
Wait a minute, that's a comment. Okay. Unless you're going to say, I'm going to have this report ready for you tomorrow, it's just a comment, just letting people know I'm not getting reports. That's the end of my comment.
Okay, 2002 A and B bonds that we've been talking about for the last 3 months.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, we're supposed to have no rebate or rebuttal or debate. I'm not trying to rebuttal or debate. I'm just making a comment. I haven't gotten the reports, and I don't see what the problem is.
Fire Department Chief, Captain Centerwick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees. Over the period from November 9th through November 25th, the Fire Department responded to 38 calls. We had 10 fire alarms, 6 vehicle accidents, 13 ambulance assists, 2 auto aid to our neighbors, 3 CO alarms, 1 for wires down, 1 smell of smoke, 1 car fire, and 1 gas leak. We invite everyone to join us for pancakes with Santa on Sunday, December the 9th from 8 a.m. till noon. It's $5 for adults, $4 for seniors and children. A wreath with red lights has been hung on the firehouse. Fire departments across the country honor this tradition to keep the wreath red. If we respond to a working structure fire, we change 1 bulb from red to white. Therefore, we ask everyone to practice fire safety, clean your furnaces, keep your fresh trees watered, don't overload electrical circuits, and help us keep the wreath red. We just got a taste of winter weather. Remember not to overexert yourself when shoveling snow. Check on your neighbors during periods of cold weather. Stay safe. Let's all enjoy the holiday season. That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Police Department, Chief Malcolm White.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees. For the period between, for the last 2 weeks, November 14th through the 27th, the Police Department received 427 calls for service. During that same time period, the Sauk Village Police Department had a total of 17 arrests. One of the cases that did not make the news, but is a point of interest, on the 14th, at approximately 6 p.m., officers responded to a calls of shots fired in the 21700 block of Clyde. Officers discovered the victims there. They were treated for their injuries. The second victim did not survive his injuries. The Major Crimes Task Force was activated. We currently have a person of interest, a suspect. Detectives are actively working still with Cook County State's Attorney's Office to ascertain a warrant. Also, an update for our Shop with the Cop program. In recent years, the police department has worked with the Kmart and Stager, which is now closed. So we're exploring other options to host Shop with the Cop. Last year there was a GoFundMe page, which apparently worked well, and we will be considering using that again. We did discuss this at this morning's sergeant's meeting, new innovative ways of raising funds and making this process more productive. So watch on the village website for updates. That is the end of my report, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees.
Thank you. Emergency Management Agency Director Alan Vavrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. In conjunction with the fire department fire calls, there's a couple things I'd like to state to the residents. When the roads are closed, we are not at liberty to explain as to why the roads are closed. All we have to do is tell you that the road is closed. You know, we cannot jeopardize the police department's investigation as to say why the road is closed or anything. As far as Candlelight Village, we were instructed not to let anybody walk into there or to drive in there due to the circumstances. So if you do see the roads closed, please do not put our lives or our careers in jeopardy by asking us what's going on. We're not at liberty to say. As far as the Santa Parade, December 1st, me and my Deputy Chief Gary Bell will be assisting the fire department, Public Works with the Santa Parade. Hope to see everybody out there, and when Santa comes by, give him a wave, let him know you're thinking about him. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works Director Kevin Weller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just some repetitious items here first. We still have a couple ongoing leaks in town, one on Peterson and the one on 223rd Place. Another one popped its head up on 223rd Street. Unfortunately, it's in a new driveway that was just poured over on the project. We'll be starting on that one tomorrow because of the severity of it. And then hopefully the other ones will come in after our leaf program is over. Leaf pickup is still ongoing, slow due to the weather we had now. Everything froze to the street. Even the snow event, all we did was double passes on the road in Salt Lane, so we didn't push all the leaves back in the front yards. But currently they're frozen to the road, so we are using a plow truck to break them loose, and then we're trying to still load those. We're still trying to do the program as much as possible. The rest of the week is supposed to warm up, so hopefully that'll help with the removal of the piles. So please leave them out, or at least if they're in the parkway, make sure they're in the street. Currently, we were given the Southside shutoff list today. Unfortunately, with the conditions we're under, we're in a little bit of a scramble. 137 on that list right now. We will not be able to start that list until Thursday. Hopefully, then we'll have it done by the end of the week. We'll put all hands on it. Currently, some small jobs still at the Village Hall. We've got some small repairs going on. We did do the Knox box in the community center. I just have a few keys to get yet to put it on, and then we'll turn that over to the fire department so they have knowledge. Final patchwork before the weather came in. We had about 4 projects we had ongoing. We took care of 2 of them. They were at the firehouse, 2 patches. One is where a plate was put over from where the truck sank, and the other one was from a water main break, a total of 6 tons. The other one that we were trying to do was on Yates and Jeffrey. It's a big water main break in the intersection of the court down there. So be careful going through there in the wintertime. We will not be able to do it this year, so potentially it'll be softer. We'll have some soft areas in it throughout the season. Once this season breaks in the spring and the plant's open, we'll approach that one. Hopefully we won't have a break in that one. Residents have storm damage due to the winds. Snow and rain event we just had. The wind came in with all the rain first. The snow packed down all the branches and all the dead stuff, knocked it down. Most of the stuff that we're noticing in town from the complaints are all the smaller branches, a lot of little debris. So that stuff they're going to have to break up and put in the garbage for Republic. And the bigger stuff, just notify the village hall and we'll come by and take a look at it. And plan a day for pickup. Due to the heavy wet snow, today or yesterday when we were plowing, we had some complaints of some mailbox damage. Most of this is not a problem during a normal snow event. The snow is lighter or fluffier. This was really extremely wet. We had our trucks going slower in these sections. Even then, we had some calls of mailbox damage. All we ask is residents to call up. We will address every mailbox individually because some of these mailboxes are in very poor condition and the wind probably blew them down, not us. So we will let them know each condition as we approach. And then unfortunately, during the event, we had a report again of another street light pole knocked down. This is at 1700 Mark Collins Drive. Rough pole price for this price is $1,850 for the pole, $300 for the light head. This is also the pole replacement for Torrance Avenue that was hit in an accident also. Both of these are uninsurable. There's nobody to go after at this point, but we still have to replace the poles. And then about at around 3 o'clock, we got a call of another pole that fell down or got hit, we're assuming. This was at 22321 Murphy, a wooden pole. We have that pole in the yard, and we have a light head to replace that, so that won't be any cost except the labor. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, did we get copies of our report?
Whose report?
Public Works. You didn't give a copy? Can we get a copy from?
Okay. Economic Development Director, Mr. Joseph Wiswadi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Renewals for liquor licenses have been sent out to all the license holders. All liquor licenses are expected to be completed and returned to the village before December 31st. McDonald's is in the process of applying for a building permit, which calls for extensive exterior design changes, signage, ADA enhancements to the interior and exterior of their facility. Their plans are currently being reviewed by the building department, and we should have that completed this week. The board has before it tonight 2 ordinances. The 2018 A General Obligation Bond, which authorizes the issuance of up to $2,180,000. Property tax increment for both TIF 2 and TIF 3 are pledged to repay the bonds and not residents' property tax dollars. This will provide the village with $2 million to complete long overdue infrastructure repairs to roads, water mains, servicing the area, and other improvements. If the village did not take this approach to utilize these funds, the village would have lost $1.8 million and would have only benefited $200,000 in property tax increment. This likely would force the residents to would have had to pay the necessary repairs out of their other financial resources. I'd like to say that the revenues are up year over year in TIF 2 and 3 by $717,000, according to the Cook County Treasurer's Office. Also, none of the money from the TIFs or from the proceeds of the bonds are going into funding any incentives, infrastructure, or anything else into the Gas and Wash project. The Gas and Wash is investing $10 million of their own funds into building, site improvements, and infrastructure, including over a half-mile of new water main and a half-mile of new sewer main. To repeat, the village has not given 1 penny for any of the improvements. These are all privately funded. The village board also has before it tonight the 2018 General Obligation Bond, which calls for refunding of the 2002A bond. The action you will take tonight will save the village from $85,000 to $105,000 in interest and reduces the overall interest rate on these bonds, much like refinancing a home. No additional new debt is being authorized by this ordinance. but the board is merely refinancing the $4,185,000 that is owed. These bonds will be paid off as scheduled on June 1st of 2022. As was previously explained, the bonds both are issued on parity with all of the village's outstanding general obligation, capital appreciation bonds, and incremental property taxes are pledged to repay these from both TIF 2 and TIF 3. Finally, I had one other thing that I did not have in my report. I just wanted to let everyone know that the demolition permit was issued for the state property, which was formerly the C. James Auto on Sauk Trail at 1680. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Reports of trustees, standing committees, and comments. Public Service Committee, Trustee Bernice Brewer.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to put this for your notes for your file, Marvin. I'm sorry, Village Clerk. I'm sorry, Village Clerk.
It's in here.
Okay, and I was just saying I'm going to have a copy for your finished report. As part of the Public Service Committee, last week I want to reiterate that the... Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. You put it on? We want to... Oh, okay. We want to reiterate that the mayor has agreed to provide documents from Robinson Engineering to compile a report relating to the repair and replacement of Sauk Village infrastructure. I hope this will be this project will yield some feedback to residents so decision can be made relating to this matter, and it can be addressed at a later time. Item 2, as part of the Public Work Service report, I'd like to address the AP, the Accounts Payable report. Every pay period, I ask that payments for Ms. Suffin, Dr. Strader, and the lab group be removed and voted on separately, because these individuals have motion on file relating to the approval of any of the above mentioned individuals. Residents and employees should know there's no fear that employees won't get paid because trustees have the vote to approve the accounts payable. However, the lack of approval for these individuals will need to be addressed. It is this administration continues to pay Ms. Suffin, Dr. Strader, and the lab group indicates a clear violation of the Illinois state statutes and shows a disservice to the Sauk Village taxpayers. I then ask that the attorneys provide us a written documentation showing what's going on with these matters. We want to know, we want to find out why is Dr. Strader, Ms. Suffin, and lab group being paid without being approved by the board. Item number 3, I ask that written statements and supporting documents from the attorney, Olson and Sturks, when I say the attorney, be provided to us, trustees, regarding operational transfers. It is not clear what operational transfers mean. According to what I understand from Ms. Suffin, that these are advances that shouldn't be paid back. If that is, then we should have account of all that. And we don't have an account of that because we can't get any reports. So something's wrong with that. We need to start with communicating and networking and giving us what we need in order to make some informed decision. And that's the end of my report.
Budget and Finance Trustee Roderick Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The committee did not meet last week due to the holiday, so we will pick up next month in December, and close my report. Thank you.
Housing and Intergovernmental Relations Committee, Trustee Cecil Tate. Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Linda Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
The ordinance review committee is going to meet, is this on? Because it doesn't sound like it is.
You want it?
Go ahead.
Well,
She's on.
The ordinance, still doesn't sound like it's on. Can you hear back there? Yeah. Okay. Oh, here we go. The ordinance review committee is going to meet next Monday, December 3rd at 6:30 p.m. here in the Village Hall. Now, I just have a couple of comments. Mr. Mayor, several times I've asked about an email that I sent to the HR department. I've sent it twice, actually, and I thought I would get an answer, and I've not. I sent one October 3rd and October 10th. And it's in regards to the 2 part-timers and the full-timer that was hired. I wanted to simply ask if there was a background check and fingerprinting done. And if so, what agency? But I guess seeing as I can't get an answer, I'm going to have to FOIA it. And I really try to avoid doing that. I don't send in FOIAs, but I can't get an answer. I don't know why she's not answering this email. And I thought by bringing this up that you would, because you've seen the email, that you would advise her that I need an answer on it. The other thing that I have, you talk about that you're the FOIA officer. Now, my understanding is a FOIA officer has to have to be certified. Go online, you get your certification. Has that been done? And that's all I have.
No, I have not went online yet to get the certification of what has to be done. No, I have not. I have taken that class. That's something I haven't had a chance to do. The background check and the fingerprint, just now finding out that you said you never got that, so I'll have to look into that.
I've mentioned it at several meetings.
Okay, well, I didn't know that you did not get that information.
Okay.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
just want to make you aware of it so that hopefully I can have it by tomorrow.
Did you have specific, you just wanted to know were they, or?
I need to know if there were background checks and fingerprinting. If so, what agency?
Oh, okay, what agency? Is that all you have?
Yes, that's the end of my report.
Public Safety Committee, Trustee Beth Zupan.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to let everybody know that our committee will not be meeting next month. I am allowing the chief a chance to get his feet wet. I will be meeting with him offline, though, outside of the committee meeting, to start a dialogue with him in relation to what his plans are with regards to community outreach. I know he had some things in place in relation to how he worked with his former community, and I want to see how he wants to handle that here in Sauk Village. So I want to start those dialogues in tandem with him getting his feet wet and figuring out what's what with his staff at the same time. So, but at the same time too, as I'm sitting here talking through this, I do want to let Mrs. Couch know that he did get my email. As we started the meeting, I mentioned the fact that I had forwarded the letter from the former chief to him, and he acknowledged that he had already gotten it, so that was a good sign. And he acknowledged that he would take care of following up on that for me. Changing gears then, that takes care of public safety for the moment. I want to switch over though to Sauk Talk, if I may, and I will follow up with the department heads, but I want to make sure that the board knows that if anybody has any desire to submit an article for the Sauk Talk for this month, to please get that to me emailed in Word document form to me no later than December 7th. Let me know, and that will be going out this month before the holiday. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Community Outreach, Trustee Ronald E. Carter.
I have nothing, sir.
Thank you. Reports of committees and commissions. Oh, you have the mic, okay. City Advisory Council, Chairman Emmett Farmer.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. Our next meeting for the Senior Advisory Council is December 13th, and all are welcome. There's less than 2 weeks left for Medicare annual enrollment period for our seniors that are turning 65 or are 65 and older to enroll in or to change plans. Our next meetings in the Senior Center are tomorrow, November 28th at 12:30, Monday, December 3rd at 10:30 a.m., and the last meeting is Wednesday, December 5th at 12:30. Please let all your seniors know that December 7th is the last day to get enrolled, re-enrolled, or change for this year. Also, game night is every first and third Friday. Please come out and invite your seniors for bid quiz and other games. There's really been a great turnout lately, so let's keep the momentum going. Also, I'd like to thank all you all for participating in our first, well, hopefully it'll be monthly, but luncheon, senior luncheon that we had. We had a great turnout and it's really good, and the senior committee just wants to thank you all. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. New business, I'll entertain a motion to approve accounts payable in the amount of $325,864.14.
Second.
Moved by trustee Carter, second by trustee Grant. Any questions? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, I just have a quick question. On the accounts payable for Dr. Stroder for police negotiations, I see every week it's 10 hours each week. Where are we at with negotiations?
We have two that are ongoing right now. One is went into arbitration, and then the other one was supposed to. We're still trying to find out what they're going back and forth doing. I don't know. I was told that it was going to go, and then I was told that they're holding it up. So right now, they're going back and forth, the FOP is. So the only thing I can tell you, I thought it was going to go and actually go into negotiation for the second part, but I thought it would happen by now. So I'm just still waiting.
So in other words, FOP is going to go into arbitration?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. One minute they say yes, the next minute we don't hear anything, and then come back and say, okay, so they're just going back and forth right now.
Well, and the reason I'm asking is because once it goes into arbitration, all talk stop.
Absolutely.
And it's going to do. So when I'm seeing this on here, because I was told it was going into arbitration, and I just want to make sure because I see she charges the same amount every week, 10 hours a week. So that's where I needed to know where we're at as far as the FOP. Now, I think she's also doing Public Works?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a comment. Mr. Mayor, every week, well, every 2 weeks, I'm going to ask it like this. I request that we remove, I know the motion is there, but I still want to put it on record, for the lab group who has not been approved, Dr. Stroder, which we're having problems with. We don't know how much he's supposed to be paid, 14 hours of the 17.45 hours, or the 17 hours. That's not been made clear. Or Ms. Sutton, who has not been approved by the board. We in turn, you are forcing us to pay all this account payable, which people are supposed to get paid according to Civil Rights Act, as Trustee Carter always referring to. However, we're not supposed to pay employees who haven't been approved by the board. And these 3 employees have issues there. And therefore, it's just a comment, and that's all I want to say about that.
Any other questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer? Trustee Brewer?
Motion carried. Motion to approve the resolution designating an authorized agent to the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund.
So moved. Mr. Mayor, also just want to so move with the motion that we correct the name in the resolution. I think it still says Judy Suckin, and I think we brought that up last committee meeting, so we can change that to Judith Sutphin.
It has been corrected on the actual one.
Okay.
That was put together today.
Okay.
That was prepared today.
Great.
Okay. Okay, could you get that out to them? It's not on here. Okay, I'm just saying, do you have an action? Okay, so
We don't have the corrected one, no.
Okay, that has to get out.
Yes, please.
It was moved by trustee Carter, second by trustee Grant. Any questions?
No, I moved it. Nobody seconded yet. Oh,
Yeah, he did. I'm sorry, moved by trustee Grant, second by trustee Carter. I thought you said it the other way around. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
I don't think she was.
Wait, I didn't second it.
She didn't second that.
I'm sorry, I thought I said trustee Grant moved and trustee Carter second. Please call the roll.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Trustee Todd?
No.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
No.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Motion to approve an ordinance providing for the issuance of general obligation bonds, alternative revenue source series 2018 in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $2.5 million for the purpose of financing the cost of certain capital projects within the village, funding certain bond issuance costs, and providing certain amounts of capitalized interest on the bonds. I'll accept the motion.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by trustee Zupan and second by trustee Carter. Any questions?
Comment. After numerous attempts to get copies of the detailed ledgers for the 202A and B series, as well as the 208 and 209, I haven't been able to get that information. For some reason, I can't get it. There's no village trustee attorney who has been present for these proceedings. And we should be able to, trustees should be able here to ask questions about what's going on with the 202 series. We haven't been availed that process. Ordinance that we get have been given to us in pieces. We didn't get the full ordinance until last week, and then the attorney wasn't there too, so we could ask questions. So my thing is that you give us bits and pieces of the stuff, you rush stuff to us, and we don't have the attorney here to ask any questions. So it seemed to me that it seemed disheartening just to get the information and we can't make an informed decision. There's always a rush to approve these ordinances, and it only adds to the confusion. Another thing I want to address is this ordinance called, when we first got started, called for the to be a backdoor ordinance was called to be submitted and addressed, and we didn't have time for that. We got this information from the board, and residents out there, they wanted to act on it. You got about maybe 5 weeks at the most, 6 weeks, to make a determination on what we should be doing with this particular ordinance. $2.5 million is a lot of money, and 4.5 is even more, and we need some information, we need some answers to that information. On page 7 on the ordinance that we have in front of you, getting ready to vote on, that there's the bond that we have is at a 5% interest. They want to give us another bond at the same interest rate. I don't see the the logic behind that. If you're gonna get 5%, unless I missed something, then again, we didn't get the proper information, so we can't tell what we're supposed to be getting. On page 20, there's 20 blank items on there, and we're supposed to approve something. That's seems like something's not right with that. Also, last week, people from Burn 9 Security came and they talked about a 3% reduction that we might be getting along with the coupon. I don't see anything, and there was no attorney there to address that. And another thing on page 30, the village reserved the right to issue additional bonds without conferring to the Board of Trustees. I thought that's what we were here for, to watch the money. And also on page 27, which is the big one, it says the mayor, the finance director, and the treasurer, without authorization or direction from the board, can authorize the selling and delivery of bonds. I don't understand that. And we don't get any information. And in addition, this is a slight little thing, no mention was about the impact fees. I thought if you're building something, you're supposed to get an impact fee. I might be wrong on that one. But still, there's no attorney available to ask these kind of questions. So that's my comment on that one.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Tate? Yes. Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
No.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Motion is carried. I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance for providing the issuance of a general obligation bond, refunding bond, Series 2018 of the Village of Sauk Village, Cook and Will counties in Illinois in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $4.5 million for the purpose of refunding the government refinancing bond, Series 2002A.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay.
Which one?
I moved. She second.
Moved by Trustee Grant, second by Trustee Zupan. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
No.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Motion to approve an ordinance authorizing Sauk Village to disconnect the parcel of property from Sauk Village in order for the Village of Creek to annex the property in the southeast corner of Steger Road and 394.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by Trustee Zupan, second by Trustee Carter. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I don't have this ordinance in my packet.
We discussed that. Ooh.
Right, but there's been changes to it.
No, it wasn't changed, it was just an ordinance written up. I mean, it was discussed, all we did was put it into a form. It's the same one that we've had. Remember I said I wasn't gonna do anything until we got the one that stated exactly what was going on? The actual annexation and the boundary line?
Okay.
But that's been discussed like several times.
Anybody have a copy?
Oh, that's right, you did get it last week and you turned it back in, I'm sorry. You had it in executive session.
So does anybody have a copy?
I mean, you got it last week in executive session. I mean, you will get a copy once it's been passed, yeah. But it's the same ordinance, there's nothing behind the scenes, it's the same one. It's just that we're voting on it now since we got all the language in place.
And actually, if I may, Mayor, we actually, when we voted on it before, we voted on it with the understanding that we were going to have it amended to reflect that language, even though we didn't have the language at the time.
Right, and that I knew that we did, that's why I was, okay, why are we voting on it again when we voted with corrections? So I was looking for it with the corrections. That's all.
Yeah, you will get a copy.
Okay.
Madam Clerk?
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
I don't know, can you pass by, I have to ask a question first. I'm sorry, I wasn't,
No, okay.
it's just a simple question.
We're taking a vote now, we're not answering a question. I asked her there a question at the beginning, we're taking votes now.
I just need to know when we're gonna get the copy.
But she asked you to vote.
Oh, we are? Okay. Okay, all right then, yes.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate? Yes. Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Motion is carried. I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
Second.
Moved by trustee Carter, second by trustee Grant. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.